outside of 225.
I wasn't listening to that.
The accident
We're live on the Book of Faces. Hello, Facebook folks. What's up? What's up? We got Jerry Tah just off camera.
For you, you're 30
He'll
minutes
slide
from
on in.
Boulevard into Scott.
So,
288, about 25 minutes up from Highway 6.
If I can go
you do
in
have to
here.
apply some brake pressure inside of the Beltway. 59
We're
Southwest
live
Freeway,
here.
25
Okay,
minutes
that's
from University
good.
into town. Katy Freeway, 35 minutes from Pinhook. You do have a bit of a hold up to get to Littleton again, close to 45. 45 North Freeway, 35 minutes from Rayford Sawdust to the Pierce.
It's Toyotathon 2016 year-end clearance at Fred Haas Toyota Country.
Drive new 2016 Tundras today for $199 a month
share this
for zero
online.
APR.
Right
Toyota Country.
Highway 249 just north of Beltway 8.
Oh, there it is. Okay. And I'm going to change it to my timeline. Hit
Salem
post.
Media Group of Houston
All right,
is
2
seeking
minutes,
an
guys.
experienced
All right,
outside
thanks.
salesperson to sell terrestrial and digital advertising
Facebook,
on
there we
all
go.
3 radio stations. The person must be able to effectively identify businesses.
Hopefully we'll
that
have internet the
an
entire
affinity
show
for
this
conservative
time.
audiences and be able
Yes,
to develop
fingers
and
crossed.
oversee
Right.
the execution of multifaceted ad
Yay,
campaigns
Comcast.
using traditional and digital radio products.
Yesterday, Comcast
Candidates must
crashed.
present high
About
level
halfway
of
through the
oral
show,
and written
Jason was doing the radio show with his son,
with the ability to understand
who's
and
9.
explain radio and how it compares
name's
to
Carson.
other
Carson was
media.
having a grand old time on the show, and
Copywriting
then
preferred.
and then I got a call from a buddy of mine named Steve. They were driving to Fredericksburg for the holidays,
the ability
and then,
to excel in a fast-paced environment
and then
their ability
as soon as
to
I
work
hung
with a
up,
variety of clients
I'm
in the
listening to the
consultative
show, and I'm like,
sales
wait,
process. We offer
that's
draw
me on
against
the radio.
commission.
I mean,
Draw amount is
what happened
commensurate
there?
with experience,
Yeah.
full benefits, including dental, vision, and 401k.
I had to just
Salem
grab
Media
something.
I know,
Group is
right.
an equal
Yeah.
opportunity
It was
employer.
yours.
Right.
Send your resume
Yeah, and I
to
was listening, I was
General
like, man,
Manager
that was
Chuck
a pretty good
Jewell
show
at
you
Chuck
picked.
J at kkht.com.
So you're
Hey,
y'all are
this is
not
Mark
gonna
Conley from
you're
the
not gonna
Big
be
Money
there
Big Daddy
Thursday and
Show
Friday,
on
right?
K-Tech
Because we're
Business
doing a
Yeah,
best
I
of.
am. I'm supposed
Thursdays
to
at
be.
Oh,
eight
okay.
a.m. We here well.
Well, you know we're doing a
are
best
inviting
of,
you to
right?
attend our awesome
I
engaging
know.
coaching
Yeah.
event where we
A
will be
bus
asking
stop?
you the
Best
question:
of.
is
The
your
best
best
of.
manager
Best
a
of. Yeah, best of
sociopath,
shows.
and what can you do about
Don't
it?
call
It's
in.
gonna be at
You're listening
6:30
to a
in the
best of
evenings at
show.
Papado's on October 20th. For more information or to RSVP, text the keyword "daddy" to 72727. Securities Products Advisory Services offered through Park Avenue Securities, a member of FINRA SIPC.
All right.
It's long, over 1,000 chapters, over 30,000
All right, 30 seconds,
verses.
fellas.
No wonder so many of us have never read it cover to cover. Want to do it? Want to read the entire Bible? Start today
All
at
right.
BibleStudyTools.com.
TPU's looking good.
BibleStudyTools.com
Minimize that.
includes Bible in a Year, an interactive plan for reading, learning, and understanding the Bible. Deepen your faith and impact your walk with God, one day at a time. Bible in a Year, just one of the new interactive Bible study tools at BibleStudyTools.com.
The following program does not necessarily represent the
Morning,
views
Valley.
or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy that will put your
All right,
fears
fellas,
behind
stand by.
you is on the air now.
Hot
Taking
mics
calls at
in
713-785-1817. Toll free
2,
877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. I always think it's funny that I never get out the toll-free number because they don't even charge for tolls anymore. So what's the point of toll-free numbers?
What about people with landlines?
Yeah. Do those still exist anymore?
They do.
Yeah. Okay.
My parents have a landline, so.
Well, welcome to Right Path Real Estate Radio. You're listening to Tom Perry, and the other voice you're hearing is Jerry Tah. He's with PropertyCare. We're going to be talking about property management. You know, what's interesting is I know that a lot of people do single-family houses as an investment vehicle. Because, but you know, oftentimes people want to calculate their return on investment, their cash on cash returns, their cap rates. I mean, all of these financial metrics that all presume, because really what you're doing is you're comparing it like with the old fashioned CDs, like in a savings account, or you know, back when we had savings and loans, right?
Right.
You know, you put your money in a savings account, you get 5.5% interest on a jumbo CD. I mean, that's truly a passive investment. Mm-hmm. But single-family real estate, I would not say that it's passive unless you're outsourcing it. And like we're not even, you know, we're good at a lot of the things that we do in terms of marketing and sales and finding houses, things like that. But we are not tens at managing our own properties. So we outsource that. In fact, we use you. And you know, let's talk about what's a typical investor looking at when they're looking for a property management company. What have you seen that is?
You know, it's really a combination of both. of handling tenants and also doing the maintenance related to it. Like I said, to your point, it's not a passive. If you're thinking that you're gonna buy a rental house and it's just gonna make money on its own, I don't think that's ever the case.
Yeah.
At all. And I think anytime when you're dealing with people,
right,
that just makes it all a lot more difficult than it is, than just beyond passive.
Right.
So really just maintenance and tenant placement, and I guess dealing with rent collections is generally the three things that I think people are always looking for when they're reaching out to a property manager.
Well, it's interesting. When you're dealing with a tenant's logic don't always make the most sense. I was talking to this person yesterday. I'll tell a personal story and I texted this person yesterday that we have a radio show legit, and I won't name names or anything like that. They may be listening, but so we're about ready to buy this property. And so we've cleared title, and this is a property that was inherited. So, and how it works out is just know that this man passed away years and years ago. He left a property to this woman. This woman, she passed away and did not have a will, but she only had one son. And so the property naturally passes to him through an affidavit of heirship, right? Well, he passed away without a will and only had one daughter. So this one daughter inherited this property. Well, she didn't know that she owned this property. And through genealogy research and skip tracing and private investigators, we reached out and found this person, picked up the phone, called, said, hey, you own these 4 properties. And she's like, what? Well, I remember those as a kid. I never knew what happened to them. Didn't realize I owned them. I mean, she's behind in property taxes. She wants to sell. So we think these properties, we know that they've been physically abandoned. We know that they've been financially abandoned. We know they've been emotionally abandoned. So she wants to sell. Well, we're ready to close on this property. So we go by to check on it. Well, somebody's living there. Mm-hmm. And we're like, wait, what? How's it? So I go by on Sunday, knock on the door to say, like, hey, who is this? Who? This house is supposed to be vacant. The person actually owns it, doesn't know of anybody that should be living there, has not leased it out, anything like that. Long story short, if that's possible at this point, what ends up happening is this person's been paying rent for like 3 years.
To who?
To this man that kind of thought he was the cousin of the person that died that the property was left to years ago. Couldn't really explain to me over the phone. This man's like 82 years old. I think he's honestly saw these vacant houses, decided that, hey, I don't have a mortgage. I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to pay upkeep. If I can rent them out, any money just gets to go in my pocket. Now, I don't know for sure that that's what's going on, but I can tell you that he's been collecting rent for like the last 3 or 4 years. And he's got no expenses, right?
Right.
So I talked to him yesterday. I'm like, well, who are you paying rent to? So I wanted to talk to that guy too. How are you related? It turns out he's really, if he is at all, it's very, very distant, maybe cousin, kind of married into situation. He saw an opportunity, he seized on it because nobody else was stopping him, right? So, and his attitude is like, well, I've replaced the roof. I put all this money. I want to get paid back. If this other person owns it, I want to get paid back for all that. What he didn't realize is if he gets reimbursed for the expenses, he also has to give all the revenue he's collected. So surely he's made a profit all these years. And so I don't think he was really understanding his logic. Now, the tenant's attitude was, well, oh my God, this guy's been ripping me off because I've been paying rent for the last 3 years, and that's just been, I'm like, yeah, but you got to live someplace for 3 years. So it's not like you've been really hosed, right? I mean, you got a house.
You've been living inside a house.
Yeah, this guy, and so she's going off on like, well, you've been defrauding me, and like, I've been pouring all this money in, and I'm not getting nothing for it. And I'm like, yeah, but you have. You've been living there for 3 years. You've been paying rent, and now, granted, he didn't own it, and maybe he didn't have the right to collect rent, but you paid it, and you got a place to live, and where's the harm, right? And so you realize that sometimes people's logic is a little bit wonky, and it's just a simple conversation to point out, yeah, you have been living there for 3 years. She goes, oh yeah, that's right.
I think when it comes to money is when everyone's logic gets a little wonky. It all doesn't even make any sense, but if they feel like they were losing a dime, all of a sudden their logic just goes out the door.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my air conditioner's not cooling for a day, so I don't have to pay this month's rent. Right? It's like, well, if you move out, maybe that's the case, but you have this lease that tells you exactly what happens if your air conditioner goes out.
Right.
Yeah, so what is the rule? So do I have to, if I don't fix the air conditioner the same day that it goes out, do I lose that month's rent if I'm the landlord?
Nope. I mean, that's not even, air conditioning, surprisingly enough, is not even like a Texas property code
It's not even an emergency.
It's
right.
not. It's not considered an emergency at all.
Right.
I mean, granted. I mean, we all try to understand that.
But I have a baby in the house.
I mean, we always do our best.
Do you realize that before the 50s, people actually lived in Houston and they had babies in the house and they didn't even have air conditioning?
They had ceiling fans.
I know, right? I know, isn't that crazy?
That is
and people
crazy.
somehow survived.
That is kind of crazy to think about that. There wasn't ACs or it wasn't that prevalent.
I mean, like back in the 50s, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, like, my dad's a native Houstonian, born in 1942. So he remembers living in Houston without AC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I got a chance to know my grandparents and then also my great-grandparents. My great-grandmother, she was born in 1898. And just thinking about the things that she saw, and it's like people want to say, oh, but I have a baby in the house. It's like, yeah, and?
I feel bad. I mean, you feel bad for them at the end of the day. I mean, you always, like I said, you always want to make sure that they have AC, but it's like, hey, you're not the, you're
but
literally
they make it sound like my life is going to end if you don't fix this. And you're like, there's hotter places on this planet, like in Vietnam and places like that, that most of the people don't have air conditioning. And it's hotter than here, and they survive.
Yeah.
Now, they weigh about 120 pounds, but maybe that's a solution to our weight problem in Houston.
The strangest thing, remember when Houston was flooding?
Yes.
And you saw those old pictures of, like, Houston flooding, like, way back in the 30s and 40s and stuff? I thought I didn't think Houston flooded.
Oh, you thought that was recent?
I thought it was more of a recent event, like where,
Houston is built on a swamp. They had to drain the swamp in order to build Baytown.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of those.
Houston was founded right there on Allen's Landing, right there near downtown. So,
exactly.
Which is a swamp. Essentially still a swamp today.
Essentially it's a swamp. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly where it was started. And really the hub of this whole area was Galveston. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyhow. So back to property management. So what do you see the three biggest mistakes that when people are trying to self-manage their own properties, what do you see that those biggest mistakes that most investors make?
I mean, starting from the beginning, I think people who don't fix their property or make it rent ready in a manner, I think Houston in general there's been more and more available rentals recently. I think, a lot of people have bought rental investment properties, so it's gotten that more competitive. So,
but home ownership's gone down as well, so the number of people renting has gone up.
Right.
And people are coming in, it's projected that Texas is going to grow from 28 million people to 40 million people over the next 10 years. But so people are coming here, right.
But for the time being, though, I think, when owners, they don't want to put new carpet or refresh the paint and stuff, I mean,
2 minutes.
It's going to be more difficult for you to rent your house out, and you're not going to get the return that you thought you were or as quick as you thought you were. So renting out the house, as far as fixing up, I mean, if you have old carpet or green carpet or blue carpet, time to get rid of it, and you got to put some new carpet in. You got to look at your competitors on the market and see what they're doing. And if you're going to price it within close to your competitors, you got to have a comparable product.
Right.
At the end of the day.
So really, it's about comps. That's what it's about. So hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. You're live in the studio with Jerry Tah. He's with PropertyCare. His telephone number is 713-489-7653. That's 713-489-7653. If you want to get info from him, you can email him info@propertycarehouston.com. That's also his website, propertycarehouston.com. We're going to go to a break. See you on the other side.
Mic's off.
All right. Cool. Morning, Ginger.
I'm doing a deal right now where we finally found my daughter.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing. Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 742-9992.
The Realty Investment Club of Houston has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Come check us out at richradio.org. If you're considering learning how to invest in real estate,
are you saying something to me?
richradio.org
Yeah, we got a
is the
caller.
quickest way to
It's
learn how to
Terry
make
from
money
Sugar
in the
Land.
Houston
All right, cool.
market.
We're
We're not just
I know who that
another
is.
guru-driven club. We're a community of
We've
Houston's
got a
most
caller.
successful
Terry
real
from
estate
Sugar Land.
investors. Join our community to learn what it takes
so-
to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org.
So I've been trying to get a hold of this guy's a pastor, and he will not return my call for nothing.
Did you
So,
know that
like
there
today,
are
I'm gonna
over
go knock on his
$24
door.
trillion
He owns 1/12 of the house.
US. Imagine if you could use someone's
He's
IRA
like, dude,
to fund
really?
all of your deals.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
I
Quest IRA
I
is
currently
based
own 9
locally here in
12s,
Houston,
and there's 3 other
Texas.
people that each
At
own a
Quest
12.
IRA, we offer
And one of them's in a
retirement
convalescent
accounts
home,
that can be used
and
to
their
invest
daughter
in
has a
real
power of
estate,
attorney.
promissory notes,
And that's the
private
person that's giving me the most
entities,
problems
and
so
much
far.
more.
She wants
Many
money
of our
too.
clients loan money
Power
from their
attorney.
IRAs to fund
Because
real estate
the lady
deals
that
all
bought
over
from
the
her
country.
daughter,
We don't sell any
she has like
investments
power
or give
attorney. I'm like,
advice.
yeah, but
However,
your
we
mom's
do hold free
passed away.
networking
Yeah, it just only
events,
gives you the
weekly
ability.
educational classes,
Like she's
and
like,
free
I
consultations
can
with
do whatever I
an
want.
IRA
I'm like, no, I mean your
For more
mother's still alive.
information,
Like
visit
she's
our
perfectly
website
fine.
at
This is just in case.
questira.com.
Yeah.
Or call us
Yeah,
at
right. Yeah, we can still deal with your mom and not have to deal with you, right?
Yeah, but she's like trying to get into the like because she's the one not getting anything out of it. The husband's daughter is getting something out of it.
At 1-855-FUN-IRAs.
Yeah, we
or
deal
go
with
to
that
our
kind of
website,
stuff
questira.com.
More than 1 out of 10 Americans struggle with mental health issues today. This affects relationships in the
It's only 1 out
workplace,
of 10?
at home, and in all
I
aspects
talk
of
to
life.
some crazy
I'm Paul
people.
Ladler. Join me Tuesday
I would've
Theories
thought
of
it more
Mind,
like 3
where
out
I
of 10.
teach you to recognize and help your family, coworkers, or friends struggling with these debilitating disorders. Talk to me about heading off problems before they start, and learn how to correct them when they occur on Theories of Mind on Business 1110 KTEK.
Paul Loudon, Theories of Mind, Tuesdays at 3 p.m. on Business 1110 KTEK.
Do your teeth hurt? Do you have
1 minute,
cavities or
fellas.
need your
All
teeth
right.
cleaned but won't go to the dentist because you don't have dental insurance? Well, you don't have to wait any longer. Cypress Creek Family Dental offers the quality dental program for those who don't have dental insurance. No deductibles, no yearly maximums, and no waiting periods. It includes 2 cleanings per year, an exam, and a discount on all procedures. Call Cypress Creek Family Dental today at 281-440-1050. That's 281-440-1050 or online at championsdentist.com.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call
All right,
today
10
at
seconds, fellas.
713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you
How are our
on your
levels?
next transaction.
Your
Equal
levels are
housing
good.
opportunity
All
lender.
right, guys, stand by.
NMLS
Hot mics
514-497.
in 5,
This
4,
is Business
3,
1110.
2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. 713-785-1817 is our phone number. Jerry Tah with PropertyCare is live in the studio with us. We have a caller from Sugar Land. Terry, welcome to the show.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, Terry. How are you doing?
Hey Terry, what's going on?
Wonderful, wonderful. Ready for Thanksgiving. Listen, Jerry, you said a statement, and I wanted to confirm that I heard it correctly. You said that the amount of rentals available within the Houston market has increased.
I did not state any statistics at all. I said that amongst our group of property managers that we meet with on a monthly basis, we've found it recently a little bit more difficult, I would say over the past month, to lease out houses.
It's not that there's a higher inventory of number of houses, but there's fewer tenants over the last month. And the theory of the group that was meeting, as I understand, because we were talking about this a little bit off air, is that a lot of people weren't looking during the election cycle, right before the election. People weren't looking to change houses right then. But it's right before Thanksgiving. I mean, it's kind of a wonky time of the year. There's not a lot of people looking to move right now, right?
Right. It was really a matter of the decrease in volume of what we felt where people were looking, and at the same time, the people that were looking were let's say less qualified than we were. Usually this time of the year, there's less volume, but usually the people that are looking are very well qualified. And we get them in the door, but it's just been a kind of a weird period recently.
So you've been screening a lot of applicants that don't necessarily pass the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of that, Terry. Not so much that the volume of rentals has gone up. It's that the quantity and quality of the applicants to rent has gone down. Okay.
I just want a clarification.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. All right. Thanks for calling, Terry.
Bye.
So you know when I was involved with Fast Track, one of the things that I helped to create was kind of what I call my rules of thumb. That if you were a landlord, we were dealing a lot of times with landlords who were just getting into this. They were part of this real estate investing group in town that was teaching buy and hold only.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot more foreclosures back then when I was first getting started. They were buying a lot of foreclosures, needed rehab, and a lot of times they were going through. And these are people that live in nice $300,000-$400,000 houses. They were in the oil and gas business. They're taking money out of their 401k or IRAs, and they're wanting to invest it more passively. And they're buying their first rental property, and they're walking through and they're seeing this house that's, it's a $120,000-$130,000 house that they bought for like $80,000, and it's needing like $20,000 worth of work. So they're going to be all in for about $100,000. And they're going through and they're looking at these laminate countertops, and they're like, "Oh my God, what do I do? I mean, they're clean, they're functional. Do I change them? Do I not? And then that's where we'd go back to the comps, and we'd look at what are the comps. If the highest rents are at $1,250 a month, what did that last house that had $250 a month rents? What did that look like? Are we trying to get $1,250? Or are we trying to get $1,225? What's how many days on market at certain price ranges? Within a pretty tight circle. We were really studying the comps, and I really found a rule of thumb that said if every dollar that I spend in the rehab, if it can't answer one of three questions, then I probably shouldn't spend it. One is it going to increase my rental rates? In other words, can I charge $1,225 instead of $1,200 if I do this thing? If it's not a yes, then that doesn't pass that test. Probably the blue carpet would be a yes, right?
Yes.
Second thing is it going to reduce phone calls in the middle of the night? Because, who wants to get a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning that the air conditioning's gone out, or that the toilet won't stop running, or those kind of things, right? And then the third one is it going to reduce my liability? In other words, do I have an electrical plate, cover that's leaving exposed wires to the electrical switch or the electrical outlet or something like that? I got to fix that, right? If it's cracked or broken or things like that, or if I've got railings that are broken on a stairwell, or I've got, all those kind of liability issues, right? Got to fix liability problems or trip hazards or things like that.
Right.
Got to fix those things. But if it wasn't one of those three things, you don't do it. You don't do it. But I find that a lot of times investors, they even, you got a 12-year-old air conditioner and it's cooling. Do you change it or do you not?
For AC, I generally don't. I mean, those are kind of standalone items where really can get knocked out in about a day.
You got a 12-year-old hot water heater.
If it's
working, heating, you don't change it?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So
would you have?
I would typically change a hot water heater because I know it's easier to get it changed now. And when you're doing a project, it's cheaper to do a hot water heater when it's part of a larger project.
Very true.
Because we would change out a hot water heater for about $675. And if you know anything, and that's changing out all the fittings, and that's making it, compliant, doing if it's electric, doing the plug right there, because, the new codes, we bring the hot water heater up to current code and all that.
And you brought up a good point, is that I think, you got to evaluate if your incremental cost during the whole project, if it's cheaper if you do it then versus doing it on standalone, then the answer, I would say, yes, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I don't think
in an air conditioning case is not typically the case, but a hot water heater typically is, because if somebody's got to make a trip out just for a hot water heater, it's not uncommon. You're going to typically call a plumber or somebody like that, and it's going to be like $950. And the trouble is that the plumber's not going to do some of the other things that are going to have to bring it up to code. Like if it's an electric hot water heater, they're not going to wire and put the switch in up there. And so typically, if you have an entire crew, you've got somebody that can do light electrical and light plumbing and those kind of things, because it's powered there. You just need an outlet, right? And you need to have, so it's some of those things when you've got like a general contractor doing your rehab for you, there's a lot of these things that can be bundled in for cheaper at that time. So in that situation, I would do it. Air conditioning, if it's cooling, probably not, but you can tell when an air conditioning's on its last legs. I mean, a good air conditioning guy can for sure. So anyhow, so it's different from flipping though. I mean, we created a totally different rule of thumb. I mean, oftentimes what you find is if you're flipping a house, countertops, in certain price ranges, you got to go granite, for example.
Right.
And in even higher price ranges, like we're actually about ready to flip a house, and it's the first time we're spending more than $10,000 on just countertops.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money on countertops.
That's a lot.
I mean, as far as rental goes, I think some of the things I'd always suggest to owners is light fixtures.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if your whole house is fitted with brass,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
gold
It looks
looking light,
dated.
it looks terrible. And, you know,
I don't think people realize how inexpensive it is to change out most light fixtures.
it's very cheap.
It's very cheap.
I mean, they're usually $20 for a 2-pack.
Right. That's
At
exactly
Home
right.
Depot. So I always recommend.
I think we used to charge this is from memory like $47.50 or $48, and that's labor and materials for it to change out a light. So you're talking about like $50 a light. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. You can change out 10 different light fixtures for like $500. That is money well spent.
And it makes it look so much better. Like I said, the brass, it just looks terrible. I think it pushes people away. I mean, I'm not saying that if you, even for the right price, I think people would be more drawn to a house that just has decent looking light fixtures.
Yeah, what most people are really looking for is clean and functional. That's really what they're looking for. They're not looking for, every now and then they like to have a wow. I mean, it's nice when you have a new tub surround or something like that. And, you know, if you get a tub surround, it doesn't cost a lot more money just to have like an accent stripe or something like that, just like a little wow factor, especially in the master.
Right.
I mean, it still comes down to, same thing when you're flipping houses, kitchens and bathrooms, especially the master bath, more than the guest bath. That's what rents houses, and that's what sells houses. And if you can focus your attention and maybe some of your dollars, you know, if you have best product, best price is really, that's a good mantra to live by. That if you have the best product in the marketplace at the best price, chances are, even in a tight market, your property's going to rent first.
Right.
What do you feel about pools? I just launched a grenade in there, didn't I?
For rentals, I don't like managing pools.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously there's a liability issue. There's a couple of things. So usually the owner needs to pay for pool service.
Right.
Do not count on the tenant to pay for pool service. Otherwise, you're going to get back and your pump's broken or you got a green pool or whatever. So always pay. I had one owner that just refused to pay for it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
You can pay me now or you can pay me later, right?
Yeah. Like I don't think that was a good idea. And the other thing is that, you know, tenants, they have to carry a larger liability renters insurance policy of $300,000, I believe.
Right.
So that's a higher cost for them. So unless, I mean, I'm really not a big fan of pools for rental properties just because the increased liability, tenants got to pay more, owners got to pay more.
So what's your recommendation if an investor's looking at a piece of property has a pool? Do they pass on the property or do they fill in the pool?
I mean, if it's a function of pool, I'll leave the pool. But I mean, you just got to be able to figure it out that usually I think pool service is about $150 a month. So you got to add that in your calculation of your cash flow.
Correct.
If you have a pool, so
it's about $150 a month, but it's not year round typically because you don't typically maintain it all 12 months. It's normally about 8 months. Is that about right? If you found that, or you maintain it year round?
You got to maintain it year round because you got to get them to not only clean but to do
chemicals
the
and all
chemicals,
that,
right?
so it doesn't turn green. Okay.
So it's a year-round cost.
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion because, I bet if I talk to 20 different investors, I won't get 20 different answers, I know that, but I'll get at least 3 or 4 different answers. Because I know that I had one investor when I was involved with Fast Track that every single property that they bought had a pool as a rental. I mean, that's just, and what their philosophy is that best product, best price. They said, in a great market, it really doesn't make that much difference. I don't really get to charge that much more, but in a down market, my properties are always the first to lease. Because most people, given the option of having a pool or not having a pool, they'd rather have a pool than not. And so they feel like if they're in a neighborhood and there's 10 properties for rent, and theirs has a pool and the other 9 don't, theirs will rent first. So they felt like that. Now, I didn't actually look at their rent rolls or things like that to see if their theory bore out, but they felt like that they always got best product, and they felt like that from a liability standpoint, they just insure with that, and they do little LLCs. I think they had like 50 properties, and all 50 of them had pools.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally against it. Like I said, you just got to be able to build it in because between the pool service, a Polaris going down, a pump going out, I mean those costs starts increasing, and you start wiping out your cash flow.
You wipe out all your profit if you don't do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Totally, I'm not against it. I just think that you got to be wary of the fact that you got to build those other additional costs into your cash flow model.
I have other investors though. They said absolutely, and then they would buy properties with pools in them, and they'd spend $5,000 and have the pool taken out. And we at Fast Track we probably took out 8 or 9 pools, something like that, maybe 10 pools. over the years that I was involved. And that's 3 years, so it's not a huge number, but we got really good at taking pools out.
How much does that normally? How much does
about $5,000?
$5,000.
You can take out a pool for about $5,000.
Okay.
1 minute.
Yeah.
You just like puncture holes in it and then fill it in.
We can talk about that on the other side of the break. You listen to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Jerry Tah is live in the studio. He's with PropertyCare. His phone number is 713-489-7653. His web address is propertycarehouston.com. His email address is info@propertycarehouston.com. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our phone number is 713-785-1817. Give us a call. I got to get better at...
Mic's off.
Thanks. I got to get better at giving out our name and phone number more. You know, you listen to like the sports talk guys and stuff like that. Like it seems like every 30 seconds, you know, when they have a guest, they are. And I just haven't gotten that flow in yet. We can probably talk off air about how you actually are supposed to fill in a pool. Typically, what we'll do is we'll rent a big skid steer with the tracks, not the wheels, and it has to be able. First off, it has to be able to fit into the back. And you typically want to have access where you're not going to tear up the driveway and all that. And so you're going to have to take down whatever fence, things like that. You want to be able to start in the shallow end. And what you start doing is it's got to have a jackhammer attachment on it. And so you jackhammer about 4 feet down below. You jackhammer about, you want to have at least
742-9992.
3 or 4 like 3-foot radius holes down in the bottom of the pool. At the deep end for sure, like two down in the deep end, and working your way up towards the shallow end. So that it's always going to be able to drain any kind of water that's in there. And then we take 4 feet down, pull all that down into the pool, fill it with bank sand, pack it down.
The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program.
Cut them off at the top, and the lines stay in the yard, but all the pool equipment comes out.
Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information.
Yeah, and then once we didn't ever actually like sod over it or anything like that. The bank sand is a really good base for sod.
If you're considering investments in Houston's
we
real
left
estate,
that up to the
then richradio.org
because we never really did landscape
to join the community
on
and
any of the
learn
stuff
how to
we
make
did.
money in today's market. Learn more about the education and community at RICHradio.org.
Landscape is probably one of the few
Join
things
our
we didn't do as part
Learn
of our
what it takes
turnkey
to make money in
rehab
Houston.
stuff.
Visit richradio.org. That's RICHradio.org.
Investor loans offering up to 100%
We did.
financing are still available.
So here's what would happen is we would get a landscaper to go out and give a bid for doing it because we didn't really do that in-house. You know, our guys weren't really, that wasn't their skill set. So we would hire people that had access to wholesale nurseries and all that kind of stuff. And we weren't, even if we didn't mark it up, people were like, well, I got a guy that lives in the neighborhood and he can do it cheaper than that, so take it out. So after that happened like the 10th time, then I'm like, you know what I realized is that's not an area that I can really add value. And where we're not, I mean, we go from Conroe to Galveston and from Brookshire to Baytown. Landscapers don't. The only landscapers that do, they're commercial landscapers, and they're not the cheapest. There's always some guy in that neighborhood that will do it cheaper. And so it's like I can't compete with that guy. And so I'm in this neighborhood, and then I'm in neighborhood 20 miles away, and then it's like, so we're all over, but we're never in any one area to be a large enough customer of that one landscaper to like beat them down on prices. And they'll normally,
Yeah.
So that's
1 minute, guys. 1 minute.
I think the only landscaping I did was probably take stuff out.
Yeah.
I trim and prune the crap out of everything.
But you don't ever add anything.
No, I never.
Ever add mulch or anything like that?
No, I try to make grass and maintenance free as possible.
Yeah.
So you never get it mulched back.
Right.
Larry, thanks. For your listeners,
Yeah.
Health Markets offers a free service.
Yeah, Ginger, it's because it freezes up there.
To help folks maximize their benefits and save
The
money.
pools, I mean, you got to keep them
Medicare
circulating all the time, and you do hear it down here as well. But it doesn't freeze down here very much.
Mike, thank you so much. Now, obviously, when it comes to
y'all get those
Medicare,
above
it's really
ground pools, though,
important that folks
right?
have the right plan for
Y'all
them.
get those
Tell our
fancy
listeners
pools.
how they can receive free help from Health Markets.
With
20
so
seconds.
many Medicare
All right.
options, it can be confusing. Don't go it alone. Get free, unbiased help for a plan that may cost less, cover more, and give you more choices. For free Medicare assistance, go to healthmarkets.com
Oh, man.
or call 800-769-5680. That's 800
All right, stand by, guys.
5680.
All right, hot mics in 5, 4,
This
3,
is Business
2,
1110.
1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our phone number is 713-785-1817. I'm joined live in the studio with Jerry Tah. His phone number is 713-489-7653. He's with PropertyCare Houston. That's their website, propertycarehouston.com, and their email is info@propertycarehouston.com. So, what else are we going to talk about?
Well, you're asking me about 3 mistakes or
yes,
So I think that, like I said, the first one was just not providing a presentable property that I think is presentable that's gonna be able to rent.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to look at.
So it's not best product and it's not the best price.
Yeah,
yeah.
But they want to rent it out tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Got it.
So I think that's always the first mistake. Not changing out fixtures or carpet if it needs it. I mean, you got to provide a clean, functional product.
When you're taking on a new property, do you go through the property and say, hey, these are the things, if you want to get best product, best price, the fastest, these are the things that we recommend that you do. Now, you can choose not to do these things, but if you want to get, these are the areas that you're deficient in. You give a report to the investors like that?
Yeah, so I always walk every property before we try to rent it out and then kind of give an idea of what I think needs to be done. Otherwise, I don't make any money if I can't rent it out.
Right.
Which is, waste.
What would you say is the average dollar amount of people that, are looking to, that they need to invest in? What would you say is that average dollar amount? Is it $1,000? Is it $2,000? Is it $3,000? What do you think that is?
It just really varies from house to house,
So, okay, yeah, that was my dad banging on the window.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
He's probably telling you good job.
Yeah, kind of random. Right, exactly. So, okay.
One good thing is that, I had one investor that had a rule of thumb where he would be willing to invest an additional 10% of his annual gross income or gross rent to improve the property, to make someone happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
10%. So if his gross rent was $1,200 a month, and so that's $1,400 a year, he would take 10% of that, so about $1,440.
Yeah.
And invest in that to make a tenant happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the tenant gets to pick what they would want to fix?
No, like if we need it, if there's anything that needs to be done, or then we wouldn't present that. But he said that's an amount that he'd be willing to spend in order to keep a tenant happy.
Okay, so 10%. That's a good number.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first time I ever heard of that. But I was like, that's someone willing to spend money to try to keep a tenant in place. Because your vacancy is what kills you.
Absolutely.
So he was always willing to spend the 10% of his gross rent.
Yeah, not earning a return on your money. That's what kills you. When you have an investment that's not making money, that is what hurts you over the long term. Because 0% compounded long term is not a very good number.
Right.
Even 2% compounded over long term is better than 0. Yeah, so if you're earning 0, it's that's a problem.
Yeah. And the next one is, like I always say it, get the best tenant you possibly can into your house. That is
so screen on the front side. In carpentry, they always talk about you measure twice and you cut once. And in screening tenants, I'd rather leave the house a little bit vacant for maybe another couple of days. If you've got 10 or 15 applicants on that house, you don't necessarily want to take the first one. You want to take the best one, right? Because if you put the best one in there and then you set it and forget it, and that person stays 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, that can become a cash cow for you. You develop a long-term relationship and you set it and forget it.
Yeah, just don't ever fall for the, hey, they got money in hand and ready to move tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's the worst probably situation.
Yeah, a big red flag is an aggressive tenant. Like, man, I'll be a great tenant for you. I'm ready to move now, today. You're like, wait, why are you not wanting to move like 30 days from now? You really want the person that wants to move in 30 days, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the person you want, because that means they're being a professional about this. They're being an adult. They're like planning out into the future. They're taking care of their business. They know their lease is expiring. They've given notice to their previous landlord. They're maybe moving areas because they've changed jobs or their kids are moving schools or something like that. And they're planning out into the future. Those people make good tenants. Yeah, the people that are like, they just got evicted because they haven't paid their rent. The people that are just moving to town, that all their possessions are in the van down by the river.
Yeah. And one thing I really look at, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one that does this, or I think I'm smart at looking at, is when I look at screening.
Yeah.
I don't just look at the credit score. I look to see if they're paying their car note.
Yeah.
I think a big red flag, if someone's not paying or up to date on their car note,
right,
the chance of them paying rent before their car note gets
Yeah.
repossessed or their car gets repossessed is probably slim to none.
Right.
So I think whatever they can get away with longer, they're going to not pay.
Well, when people own a house, they'll almost mortgage comes first, right?
Mhm.
And then car note comes second. And then whatever else comes, then probably food and all the other things come third, right?
Mhm.
But when it comes to tenants, that changes. They're not paying for their housing necessarily first. They are going to pay for their cars first, and because they feel like you're a rich landlord, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a money squeeze coming on, now it becomes a communication issue, right? And people's logic gets wonky when it comes to money shortages, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden they have money for everything else except for rent.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me what's the most crazy wonky money story that you've had recently. By the way, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I'm joined live in the studio. Our call-in number is 713-785-1817. I'm joined live with Jerry Tah. He's with PropertyCare. His web address is propertycarehouston.com. His phone number is 713-489-7653. That's 713-489-7653. And you can also reach him on his email, info@propertycarehouston.com. So, what's your craziest, most wonky rental story recently?
I mean, my most recent was just yesterday where we took over management of a property.
Yes.
3 months ago.
Occupied or not occupied?
Occupied.
It was occupied 3 months ago. Tenant in place. Yep.
And the tenant paid rent for September and October.
Yes.
And for some reason, they just stopped this month. And we called them, and they're
Well,
like,
they're saving money for Christmas.
Whatever the reason
Yeah,
was.
sure.
But his rationale for not paying rent this month, and I'm not kidding, was that he was never notified that there was a change in management.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if he was on something or what, but we're like, you just paid rent September and October. Like, what is the like? I mean, that was the reason we got. I mean, we couldn't make anything out of it. It was just that was his reason. And he hung up afterwards.
Okay. So that means the eviction process has started, right?
Yeah, it's already started.
Yeah.
But that was his reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, once money comes into play and they don't have it, it's just some.
Yeah,
weird.
it's crazy when you deal with business people because, it's like, let's say that we office in an office building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And property managers have come and gone, and the ownership's changed, but your rent's still due because you got a lease.
Yeah.
Your lease says you pay your rent on this date, and it doesn't really matter if the owner can sell the building and the lease is still in effect because the new owner has bound by that lease and you as a tenant are bound by that lease.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the owner can decide, I don't want to manage this myself anymore. I want to hire a management company. That's a wonky story. People's logic when it comes to money, it's just crazy. So, all right. So that happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked to him and he hung up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was his logic. He didn't provide anything else.
So, ballpark, can we talk about numbers? What does it cost on a monthly basis for property management?
So we do, we have some basic fees, but essentially our monthly management fee, we do a flat fee model. We do an $85 flat fee model per month.
So if I'm charging $300 a month in rent for my house, you're going to charge $85.
That's correct.
But if I charge $3,500 a month in rent for my house, you're going to charge $85 a month.
That's correct.
So it's not a percentage of my revenue.
No.
Okay.
But
you're probably not going to lease out my $350 a month house, are you?
That's a lot. There's a logic behind that, right? Because a $350, you got to think about the clientele and the tenants that you got to deal with. So it's kind of a reverse, based on risk.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, $85 is all we charge.
So flat fee, $85. Okay.
One full month's rent to lease the property.
Because now, if I want to lease it out myself, but I just want you to management, or is it a package deal? You do the lease,
a package
deal.
Yeah.
So now, if I have a tenant in there already, do I have to renew the lease with that tenant, or how does that work? Or are you just doing it on renewal?
We'll just do it on the renewal. We'll just go forward.
Okay.
At that point.
So is it when that lease expires, just getting into the details, getting into the weeds a little bit, but when that lease expires with that tenant, then you'll get a fee for renewing his lease, or only when that tenant changes?
Well, we do renewal charges.
Okay, so
but it's much less than a leasing charge.
Okay, because you've got less expenses because you're not having to spend money on marketing. And so when you're marketing a property, you put it on MLS and you put it on all the other things that are related to MLS and all that, signs in the yard, all that kind of stuff. And so you're covering all those expenses, or that's built into the fee that you charge on the leasing fee.
That's correct.
Okay. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our phone number is 713-785-1817. I'm joined live in the studio with Jerry Tah. He's with PropertyCare Houston. You can reach him at propertycarehouston.com or email him at info@propertycarehouston.com, or you can call him. Will you actually answer the phone if they call this number?
This number right now?
Yeah, 713-489-7653.
Someone should be answering the phone.
Someone will be answering. Okay.
Obviously on the radio right now.
That's when you know that you're dealing with a business owner. They have somebody to answer the phone when they're busy doing something else. So 713-489-7653 is his phone number, and someone will answer his call. $85 a month. And you don't have to take the phone calls of my toilet's running in the middle of the night, or my air conditioning, my baby's gonna die because my air conditioner broke,
or I don't know who to pay rent to.
Don't you know I got a baby in the house? Aren't you listening to me? I got a baby.
It's always a baby, but they always have some kind of condition.
Right.
I'm not saying that they don't.
Yeah,
but
my baby's been sick.
Asthma related.
Right. I got asthma on my baby.
Yeah.
Right. My baby's got a rash because it's so hot.
1 minute.
Yeah. How did people survive before air conditioning was invented in the 1950s?
They went to the mall.
Is that what they did? But malls didn't really have air conditioning.
When did air conditioning actually become like a standard?
In this, well, it was commercially available in the 40s and 50s, but residentially it was really. In fact, Mr. Goodman was for Houston. Air conditioning was really invented in Houston, and Mr. Goodman was one of the first guys to really expand air conditioning to the common man.
Goodman's not really around anymore. Is that right?
Well, they got bought out.
Yeah.
Goodman was the largest manufacturer of air conditioning systems around. They got bought out by Daikin, so they're now owned by the largest in the world. Daikin was the largest in terms of mini split systems on a worldwide basis, and then they bought out Goodman.
Yeah.
So now it's Goodman Daikin. They're keeping Goodman for the name for their ducted systems, and then Daikin for their ductless.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia here. Houston, Texas. See, you can tune in and get all kinds of information. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We're going to a break.
Mic's off, guys.
All right. Yeah, if you ever get a chance.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in
that's
turnkey
funny.
remodeling
I'd have to
of
Google that.
single-family investment properties, whether
And
it's a
he
flip
claimed that a
rehab or
seagull,
rental rehab.
like, or
We
something
manage every aspect of a
came
rehab
at
from
him.
start to finish with a highly efficient.
And he like drove right into the water, and someone
Over
was
the
actually
last 5
recording it
years,
because
Fast Track has
I guess it was a
completed
really
over
nice car.
500 projects, which has helped us create our 3 keys to success.
To Google that.
Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992. Or on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Are you expecting to close
Bugatti into a
accurately,
lake is
on
going to
time,
jail.
and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer
Texas man
Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with
who
Legacy
may or may not have
Mutual
purchased a
Mortgage.
$1 million car
Our
for the
goal
express
is to
person
give our
probably didn't do
borrowers
it
and
and was
referral
sentenced to more
partners
than
an
a year in
amazing
prison.
experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate
This
with
says
structure,
Andy House,
process,
who owns a
and
salvage yard
recognition
for exotic
going
cars,
the extra
bought the
mile for
2006
you.
Bugatti
This way,
Veyron.
we have the energy to make this your best home purchase
In October
ever.
2009,
Give us a
the
call
following
today
month, he
to
drove it
find
into
out
the
the
Gulf
simple
Bay
steps to
Lagoon.
get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com
or call 713-579-3611.
Oh.
Again, jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait
Yeah,
to
it
consult
says,
with you soon.
house left the engine
NMLS
running, which totaled the car by sucking a
514497.
bunch of
Equal
salt
housing
water into the
opportunity
engine.
lender. NMLS 514497.
House originally said he was
Realty
distracted by a
Investment Club
low-flying
of Houston
pelican
has taught
before
more
later
real
claiming he
estate
was reaching for his
investors
cell
than
phone
any
when
other
he
program
crashed.
in the state. Come check us out at richradio.org.
He had insured the Bugatti for
If you're
$2.2 million
considering
prior to
learning how
sinking into the
invest in
lagoon
real
and
estate,
received an
then
insurance settlement of
richradio.org
$600,000.
is the quickest way to learn how to make money in the Houston market. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's R-I-C-H, radio.org.
It's estimated that 9 out of 10
1 minute,
individual
guys.
investors fight a losing battle against the big institutions. So what can you do about it? Hi, I'm Mary Beth Motisi, owner of Online Trading Academy here in Houston.
Huh.
Listen to Power Trading Hour to learn how the markets really work and how to think and act like the professionals.
That was good, man.
Call us at 281-820-8905
Yeah,
to
it
register
says,
for our complimentary half-day class. Find out more at HoustonOTA.com and listen to Power
Andy
Trading
House.
Hour, weekdays at
Wonder
2
who Andy
p.m.
House
on
is.
Business 1110 KTEK.
If you're using drugs or are addicted to pills or
I wonder if he
alcohol,
was
you
married
need
to like
help.
one of the
You
good
know that your
daughters or
addiction
something
is
like that.
harming your life, your job opportunities, and most importantly, your loved ones. That's where we come in. The Kick Addiction Network specializes in getting you the help you need to beat addiction. Our network of treatment specialists can help you
All
get
right, 15
clean and have
seconds.
the experience and track records to show for it. And if you're struggling with addiction and have private insurance, your help may be fully covered. Give us a call
All right, fellas, stand
24/7
by.
at 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION.
All right, guys,
That's
hot mics in 5,
Addiction.
4,
This
3,
is Business
2,
1110.
1.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Joined live in the studio with Jerry Tah. He's with PropertyCare Houston, PropertyCareHouston.com, info at PropertyCareHouston.com, and his phone number is 713-489-7653. So one last piece of parting advice before we go away for the show for the month for investors that are buying rental properties.
If you buy them cheap, then you shouldn't have any problems. Focus on cash flow. Focus on area.
What are you seeing as typical cash flow right now for most of your investors? I mean, ranging from what, $300 a month on the low side, or you see lower than that?
Well, cash flows, I mean, it's very hard to tell because depending on people's financing
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
You're just seeing collected rent,
Right.
and then that's going over to them minus your $85 a month fee.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not actually seeing how much they're netting because you don't know what their debt service is because you're not making those payments for them, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would focus, as far as getting rentals goes, I mean, I always try to tell people that I would say the lower the rent is probably a little bit better than as you increase, higher rent. I don't think you want to touch.
So you prefer seeing $1,000, $1,100 a month rentals versus $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month rentals, correct?
I think they turn quicker. Your
Yeah.
holding cost is lesser.
Well, there's more people that can afford an $1,100 a month rent as opposed to $1,800 a month. And
Yeah.
as you move up that scale, I mean, I know people that are trying to specialize in like the $4,000 a month marketplace, and it's like there's not many people that are going to rent a house for $4,000 a month.
And your holding cost is just, it's high.
Vacancies will eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. If you're getting in, I would say, if you're getting your first one, focus on something that's probably a little bit on the lower end.
Yeah.
Not the low end, but the lower end.
Not the $500 a month rental. Yeah, got it. Mm-hmm.
Would be my focus to kind of get your foot in the door where, you understand what holding cost is when your house is vacant, stuff like that, versus going on such an expensive property and then having your holding costs be so high and eating your cash flow up.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I won't give out our phone number again. Jason and I will be live in the studio tomorrow. It's Wednesday. We're not in the studio very often together, and it only happens on Wednesdays. And then we'll have best of shows on Thursday and Friday. Oh, we do? We have 2 minutes? Okay, so
Yes.
All right, cool. So Jerry Tah is with PropertyCare Houston. His web address is property, that's PROPERTY, carehouston.com. His email address is info@propertycarehouston.com. His phone number is 713-489-7653. You going anywhere for Thanksgiving?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
I'll be right here in Houston myself.
Right. I have an 11-month-old baby, and like I said on our last talk was that I don't think I'm gonna travel anywhere with with a baby again.
Right.
Until he can walk and talk and actually be able
Yeah,
to do
because
things
Hawaii
on-
was just tons of fun with with a 10-month-old, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, note to self, don't do that again, ever.
A plane trip there. I mean, I'm sure it made a lot of people happy.
Yeah,
Not being able-
yeah, screaming baby. Yeah.
He didn't scream. He didn't go to sleep either, which is the problem.
Right.
I was looking for some activity on the plane.
Yeah, not much to do on a plane.
No.
Yeah, not on the inside of it anyway. So you're not going anywhere. I'm actually, my daughter and I, we're actually going to be going and we feed veterans on Thanksgiving Day.
That's awesome.
Down at like Spur 529, there's a place there that it used to be a Holiday Inn right there where the split between 59 and the Spur is.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be multicolored doors and all that kind of stuff for the and now it's a shelter. It's a paid shelter. The veterans get to live there, and we go there and feed the veterans for Thanksgiving Day. So I'll be doing that with my dad and my daughter. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great day.
Mike's off.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Nikki. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. You too. All right. Need to stop the Book of Faces.